Akala ni Maris Cabral, meron siyang pinaglalaban. So ngayon, ito si Maris Cabral, i-ano ko lang ha,
Dito tayo sa Malaysia, tatry natin. Try ko hiramin yung microphone niya, tapos sasabihin ko dito sa Malaysia, sa atin yung West Philippine Sea. So try natin ha. Sir, can I try that?
Huh?
Can I try that?
You want to try?
Oo, I want to try. Okay, say hi. Hey. So, kayo Pilipino, yan, sa lahat ng mga nakikinig dyan, sa lahat ng Chinese dyan, sa amin ng West Philippine Sea!
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Happy hour!
Yes po, thank you po.
Okay, welcome.
Hey! Ayan. So ngayon, itong si Maris Cabral, napakatanga mo, te. Okay? Napakatanga mo for igniting a possible Pinoy hate. Hindi lang ikaw ang nasa Malaysia. And what you are trying to fight for is something that should be done by our leaders. Yung mga ganitong issue, hindi yan tao sa tao. Pero kasi kayo, tinatanggap ninyo na tinatanga kayo ng gobyerno na to na parang feeling ninyo, nasa kamay ninyo ang susi para ipaglaban ng mga ganitong bagay. Pag tatanga-tanga ka, magiging ganito ka. Pag hindi mo naiintindihan ng issue ng bayan, magiging ganyan ka, katulad ni Maris. Diyos me, nagtatapang-tapangan ka, magsasalita ka dyan without thinking that this is an international issue. And when you act on an international issue, damay dyan ang lahat ng Pilipino. Ilan ang Pilipino sa Malaysia? You are actually instigating Pinoy hate. Anyway,
Yeah.
oo. Marcos Aquino, ano bang kaganapan dyan sa Davao?
Diyos ko, madam. Parang kaming nasa episode ng Maumaling ngayong kahapon.
Uy, kumusta ang bigas dyan sa inyo?
Oy, Marcos Aquino, bago sa Davao, Joey, narate ko muna tong bad experience ng daughter ko dyan sa airport sa Cebu.
Ay, sige, sige.
Yes, sir.
Isang Amerikano. I don't know if nabasa niyo yung post. Ito kasi, no, yung anak ko, yung babae, yung kakagraduate lang sa college, along with her 7 friends, no, nagbakasyon doon sa kanilang kaibigan sa Mindanao nga, no. Tapos, sinundo ko nga kanina sa airport. Tapos, di ba, Joey, nakapunta ka naman sa airport dito sa Cebu, di ba? Di ba yung arrival, malaki yung esplanade, kumbaga. Tapos may mga stalls dyan sa gitna. Tapos may dalawang corridors, no, na walkways, both sides, na napakalapad, di ba? Tapos doon sa parking, doon lang ako, nagsisigarilyo habang yung mga bata ay bumibili ng snacks. Okay. Tapos nung nakalabas na sila, di pasok na kami sa sasakyan, pauwi na kami. About 100 meters away from the parking, sinabi ng anak ko na naglalakad daw silang 3 babae kasi nakaalis na yung 4 na kaibigan nila. Bigla daw may sumigaw sa likod nila ng, hey, this is a walkway, not a talkway. Kasi nga, nag-uusap-usap silang 3 na habang naglalakad palabas doon sa parking, papuntang parking. Nung tiningnan nila, lumingon sila, unmistakable talaga na US military daw. Yung forma, yung pangangatawan, yung haircut, tapos may naka-army bag pa, yung mga insignia kung ano-ano, no? So, nagtaka sila, bakit sinigawan sila na hindi naman daw nila binlock yung path. Kasi malapad nga, di ba? Di ba, nakapaglakad tayo doon, no?
Malaki naman siya eh. Spacious.
Ay, tatlo lang sila na mga babae. Hindi naman masyadong matraffic ang airport kanina kasi ilan lang yung arrivals. Medyo maluwag nga doon sa parking. So, tapos, yun na nga, no? Tinignan nila, tapos, yun na nga, parang na-intimidate na sila kasi medyo malaking tao, Amerikano, tapos talagang arrogante daw magsalita. Tapos, may kasama kasi sila na medyo maliit, may kaliitan very petite, no? Na siguro, ewan ko kung umabot sa 4'11 yung height mo, no? Pero talagang parang elementary student, no? Sinabihan para bang arrogante talaga yung Kano na sinabi ba, why don't you smile? Na talagang yung condescending talaga.
Namumulis tong foreigner.
Yeah, parang gano'n na nga, no? So, yung anak ko naman, saka yung mga kaibigan nila, they don't back down, no? With men, even if mga foreigners sila o locals man, no? Kung saan-saan na lang yan sila nakakarating. Pero what happened was, medyo natakot nga sila. Kasi nga, Amerikano, mukhang military. And then, ilang steps away lang, yung gate ng Benito Ebuen Air Force Base, which is an EDCA site, which is, ang sabi nga nila doon, marami daw ding mga Amerikano na nandun. So, they chose to ignore him na lang. Hanggang sa, yun na nga, nakalabas na sila at hindi nila sinabi kasi alam ng anak ko na talagang yan talaga, Joey, I have to tell you this, no? Yung mga ganyan talaga, yan talaga nakaka-triggers. And I'm not saying this doon sa mga Amerikano lang.
Oo.
Ilang beses ako nakipag-enkwentro, Joey, yung mga Koreans sa SM,
Oo.
na kung maglalakad sa corridor, tabi-tabi sila, 5-6, tapos ang umiiwas yung mga Pilipino. Talagang binabangga ko talaga sila tapos hinahamon ko. Minsan yung may isang mainland Chinese na nung bumili ako ng sigarillos, pinagsisigawan niya yung ano niya, yung tauhan niya ng Pilipino.
May mga nakwento ka nga sa akin yung Kuyang EB, di ba? Talagang pet peeve talaga ni Kuyang EB yan. Yung kapag mayroong foreigner na yung malalait-lait ng Pinoy, yung mga ganun, be nice on.
Yes, exactly. Tayo naman, wala naman tayong problema sa kanila, di ba? So, yun na nga. Then, buti na lang, wala ako doon. Kasi pag nandun talaga ako, Joey, ewan ko kung ano.
Maaway ka lang.
Baka ma-TV Patrol.
Political vlogger.
Tingnan nyo, basag ulo talaga. Yung kano, tinira sa airport. Buti na lang. But, which reminds me, Joey, no? Which reminds me to all those who are listening and watching us. Tama si Scott Ritter. America is not our friend. Na-recall ko kasi yung behavior ng mga Amerikano and the way they look at our women nung nandito pa yung basis nila sa Clark and Subic. I was a very young man back then, but I knew anong mga pinagagawa nila and how they look at our women. Now, it seems na bumabalik na rin yung mga ganong ugali nila at pagtingin nila sa ating mga Pilipino. Yun lang, Joey. And of all people, ako pa, and my daughter pa, why? Di ba? Iba na hindi ako makapagtangina. Talagang tinrigger talaga ako. Pinigil talaga na yung anak ko ang...
Sa nga yung, yung parang yung EDCA dyan daw nag-ooperate yung mga, nandiyan daw yung control ng mga drones.
Command and control.
Oo, ng mga drones ng,
Actually, ang nandito sa Ibuen daw, yun nga, nandito yung hangar tsaka yung parang maintenance nga ng mga drones, no?
Nasa raw yun nasa dagat daw yun nakalagay. Yung parang few kilometers from the shore. So meron silang malaking barko doon and then the command and control of drone operations are there.
Yes. Kasi para ano yan para sa Balabac Island yan Joey. Pag natapos yung Balabac Island, Edka, ililipat lang dyan.
So parang abang siya. Nakaabang lang sila dyan sa
preposition siya dito para nga hindi na maabutan, no? Ng mga kung ano-anong issue pa geopolitically, baka matiktikan tulad ng natiktikan ni Putin nga, no? So talagang covertly, inano na nila lahat yan dito, yan, Joey. Hindi na natin alam, Joey, kung anong nandito na naka-stockpile ng mga Amerikano.
Grabe. And kuya nga, we're gonna get more of this.
We will. It's just a cover yung ginagawa nila na diplomatic sa bilateral consultation mechanism for the South China Sea, diplomatic engagement. Joey, it's just like what they did to Ukraine. They are just buying time so the Americans can preposition and entrench themselves in the Philippines, Joey. It's a cover story, no? Para medyo mag-die down yung tension at mapabilis pa rin nila yung I mean, kung yung sa Ukraine nga, they were lying in front of the eyes of the whole world. Dito pa kaya sa Pilipinas na not even all Americans know where the Philippines is? So, yun. Anyway, go Marcos Aquino.
Teka lang, Marcos Aquino, wait ka lang dyan ka lang, wait ka lang. Kasi gusto kong i-connect yung storya ni Kuyang EB doon sa, nakita niyo naman yun ni-repost ko yun yung content creator to from Malaysia.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss that, Joey, babe. Ang dami palang followers, million yung followers niya, Joey, ha?
Yes!
Holy fucking shit.
Ito siya, Maris Cabral, 2.6 million followers, si idiot.
This fucking idiot is messing up. And she's doing it in Malaysia,
Doing it in Malaysia where we have a direct conflict with dahil sa Sabah.
And a historical conflict, ethnic conflict between Chinese Malaysians who are dominating the Malaysian economy and the Malays who are ethnic settlers of Malaysia who control the administration and the government, and the Malaysian Indians Kaya nga tatlo yung eskwela dyan. May mga Chinese language schools, Malaysian, tsaka yung Tamil. Kasi ang ethnic violence dyan sa Malaysia, presko pa. Tapos she's doing it in fucking Malaysia, this fucking shit of an idiot na talagang ang daming followers.
I would just like to make a differentiation doon sa tinutukoy ni Kuyang EB. Doon sa ginagawa nito ni Maris Cabral, ganyan. Tayo kasi dito sa Pilipinas, napaka-hospitable natin di ba? Pag may bisita tayo, we accept them, like you know, we accommodate them, and we are kind to them whenever they're asking for a direction, ganyan, o saan papunta dito, papunta dito. Yung mga Pilipino pagka nakita ng mga foreigners, napaka-hospitable talaga. And yung mga yung mga kwento na sinasabi ni Kuyang EB na kung saan merong nagka-Karen dito sa Pilipinas, ako personally ayoko talaga noon. At talaga makakatikim sa akin yung foreigner na yan. Pero ba't ka kayo nga yung kultura nyo ng Karen-Karen, wag yung dadalhin dito. Wag nyo kaming artehan ng mga Karen-Karen ninyo dyan. Diba? Alam nyo po ba yung Karen? Ayan, sa mga hindi sa mga hindi nakakaintindi ng Karen, yung Karen po kasi, yun po yung tawag doon sa mga puti. Usually mga babae ito Usually mga babae, mga puti, na mahilig magreklamo for slightest things, for slightest provocation. Gustong-gusto nilang guluhin ang buong mundo. Because of that, like for example, kunwari nag-order sila ng ham and cheese, pagkatapos yung ham na nilagay nasa ibabaw ng yung ham na nilagay ay nasa ibabaw ng cheese instead na yung cheese yung nasa ibabaw ng yung mga slightest
mga entitled to, sobrang feeling.
Oo, yung mga sobrang entitled na mga nilalang to, yung parang, yung mga slightest error, feeling nila, parang kailangan i-correct para masatisfy yung ego nila. Mga ganyan. So, yun yung mga Karen. So, yung tinutukoy ni Kuyang EB, parang Karen yun Kasi sasabihin ba nito sa pang maliit na, ay, mag-smile ka nga. Ba't ako mag-smile sa'yo, putang ina mo ka, diba? Sino ka? So, yung mga gano'n na magdedemand na parang meron kang gawin para sa kanila kasi they are feeling so entitled to be treated a certain way. Ngayon, iba po kasi yung pag-deal natin sa mga Karen-Karen na ganyan. Lalo na pag ginagawa dito sa Pilipinas, dyan, tao sa tao ang labanan dyan. If you see someone acting like a Karen, you shut them down, di ba? Tao sa tao ang labanan dyan personal.
Right.
Ngayon, punta tayo dito kay Maris Cabral. Si Maris Cabral, akala niya may pinaglalaban siyang tatanga siya. Okay? Akala ni Maris Cabral, meron siyang pinaglalaban. So ngayon, ito si Maris Cabral, i-ano ko lang
Dito tayo sa Malaysia, tatry natin. Try ko hiramin yung microphone niya, tapos sasabihin ko dito sa Malaysia, sa atin yung West Philippine Sea. So try natin Sir, can I try that?
Huh?
Can I try that?
You want to try?
Oo, I want to try.
Okay.
Okay, say hi. Hey. So, kayo Pilipino, yan, sa lahat ng mga nakikinig dyan, sa lahat ng Chinese dyan, sa amin ng West Philippine Sea!
Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Happy hour!
Yes po, thank you po.
Okay, welcome.
Hey!
Ayan. So ngayon, itong si Maris Cabral, napakatanga mo Okay? Napakatanga mo for igniting a possible Pinoy hate. Hindi lang ikaw ang nasa Malaysia. And what you are trying to fight for is something that should be done by our leaders. Yung mga ganitong issue, hindi yan tao sa tao. Pero kasi kayo, tinatanggap ninyo na tinatanga kayo ng gobyerno na to na parang feeling ninyo, nasa kamay ninyo ang susi para ipaglaban ng mga ganitong bagay. Pag tatanga-tanga ka, magiging ganito ka. Pag hindi mo naiintindihan ng issue ng bayan, magiging ganyan ka, katulad ni Maris. Diyos me, nagtatapang-tapangan ka, magsasalita ka dyan without thinking that this is an international issue. And when you act on an international issue, damay dyan ang lahat ng Pilipino. Ilan ang Pilipino sa Malaysia? You are actually instigating Pinoy hate. We have a direct conflict with Malaysia because of Sabah. And
20%, Joey, of the Malaysian population are ethnic Chinese. They control almost 60% of the Malaysian economy.
Yeah. It's actually a very powerful ethnic group sa Malaysia. Now, you are acting this way, feeling very patriotic, tatanga-tanga ka. All for content, hindi ka nag-iisip. And sa totoo lang, I cannot blame Maris, I cannot put the blame entirely on her. Kasi itong ginagawa na to ni Maris, kinain siya ng General Dynamics Information Technology Naniwala siya sa propaganda ng hashtag atin ng West Philippine Sea. So ganyan po tayo ginagawang tanga ng mga Amerikano. They want you to act this way, gather all the Pinoy hate that is possible. Pagkatapos sino nga harap tao, tayo, Pilipino, para sa kasiraan natin sa buong mundo, yan po ang binibigay ng General Dynamics IT sa atin.
I will have to screen record this, Joey, no? And I will make a post of this as well, no? She's inviting hate, Joey, ha?
Yes,
Buti na lang hindi naiintindihan ang pinagsasabi niya doon sa kasi nagtagalog siya. Kung naiintindihan, kalaunan it will be translated to Malaysian. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it will be translated to the Malay language or to the Chinese language, and she will be plastered all over Malaysia.
Correct. At yan, pag ito umiyak ka dyan, Maris Cabral.
Because Miss Cabral, yung atin ang West Philippine Sea, meron ding claim ang Malaysia dyan, putang ina ka. When you say atin amin ang West Philippine Sea, Miss Cabral,
correct.
You are not just addressing it to the Chinese, you're fucking addressing it to the Malaysians as well, because they also have a claim in that thing you call West Philippine Sea.
So, we don't agree. I'm sorry that we cannot blame Miss Cabral. We do blame her because when you start screaming to high heavens, things like this, meron namang ibang narrative. You have the obligation to find out the story, the full story. So, yes, we will blame her to decide.
We can blame Maris, but what I'm saying is that we cannot put the entire blame on her. She is accountable for her stupidity. Diba?
Yes. Let her be accountable for that.
She's accountable for her stupidity. But what I'm trying to say here is that, this kind of situation is brought upon by General Dynamics IT. Okay? And the US propaganda na naglalaso sa isipan ng mga Pilipino. So ngayon, kaya nga sinasabi natin sa lahat na huwag kayong tatanga-tanga. Kasi pagka tatanga-tanga kayo, kagaya ni Maris, you will act stupidly. Like that. Abroad. In Malaysia, no less.
Sana mawala ng visa yung mga ganyan na tao. Kasi mga governments naman, yung mga foreign affairs sa policies nila, pag gumaganyan ka. And I'm warning this to people who are even here in Canada, yung mga madalas mag-aktivista dito. Tapos malaman namin on temporary status. You do not have God-given rights because you have a visa. Until you become a citizen of that country, they can easily first imprison you, second boot you out. So yung tapang-tapangan, ilagay sa lugar, ha? Yun ang lagi ko sinasabi, because my work is also part on immigration here. Huwag tapang-tapangan, kasi wala pa kayong rights to be here. You cannot exercise Filipino rights abroad because you are not under Philippine jurisdiction. Yun, medyo ingat-ingat.
Please, tell your friends or relatives.
I hope she will be declared persona non grata, Joey, no? Itong si Cabral sa Malaysia. Yes, I would call for her to be declared persona non grata. What she did was unacceptable.
Totoo.
Really. Okay lang sana kung yung followers niya 100 lang. That's 1.6 billion.
True. And I'd also like to take this opportunity, to inform everyone, okay? I find it high time to make a differentiation doon sa experience ni Kuyang EB. Kasi yung experience ni Kuyang EB, tao sa tao ang laban doon. Okay? May Karen, minamaliit ka, pinapasmile ka para sa pleasure ng Amerikanong bisita nyo dito sa Pilipinas. Ibang usapan nyo. Definitely, I'm going to put that American in his proper place. Diba? But, in this situation, ang issue sa West Philippine Sea, sa South China Sea, actually, ang issue sa South China Sea is not tao sa tao na laban. Okay? The reason why we elected Bongbong Marcos is for him to resolve that conflict. Ngayon, kung si Bongbong Marcos, hinahayaan niya na yung mga taong kagaya ni Maris Cabral ang lalaban para dyan sa West Philippine Sea na pinaglalaban ninyo, then this government failed. Okay? It's not supposed to be like that. And tell your brothers, sisters, your relatives, your friends, and whoever who may not understand itong issue sa South China Sea na parang, Bex, o sige magmatapang ka, ganyan-ganyan, o sige feeling mo, ganyan-ganyan, but I advise you huwag mong pagsisigawan yan sa ibang bansa, sa labas ng bansa or wherever. Because it's not your job to do that. Trabaho yan ng presidente. Even if mabaril ka, dyan sa China or dyan sa Malaysia, kasi sigaw mo ng West Philippine Sea, it's not going to affect our claim. It will not strengthen our claim. Okay? Ang gusto ng mga Amerikano at ng mga ibang mga may interest dito sa South China Sea conflict ay lumala ang gulo. So kapag kunwari kagaya ni Maris, may mangyari hindi maganda sa Malaysia, naka-experience siya ng Pinoy hate doon dahil na-bad trip sa kanya yung mga Malaysian. What would be the next reaction? Then the Philippines yung mga idiot na mga Pilipino, parang, ay, mga Malaysian, ba't yung ginagawa sa amin, yung
Joey,
diba?
Di kaya ito yung ulterior motive ng General Dynamics at saka Pentagon? Na bringing it down from government to government, they are bringing it down to a people-to-people confrontation.
Kasi it's an area where mistake can happen. The probability of making a mistake is higher than going government to government yung issue. Like for example, mayroong isang bad trip na Malaysia, binaril tong si Maris kunwari. Then what's gonna be the reaction of the Philippines? It's gonna be difficult for the Philippines not to do everything, considering na ang gobyernong ito laging iniisip political gain.
There you go.
Diba?
Tapos ano sasabihin ng Amerika?
Ano sasabihin ng Amerika? Correct.
So, talagang
way nila to escalate yan. They designed this campaign in order for the South China Sea conflict to escalate.
Yes,
further.
And they're bringing it to Malaysia. Of all places, we have an active claim in Sabah. Malaysia is part and has a claim in parts of the West Philippine Sea that they call. Talagang, ewan ko tong babaeng to.
Totoo. I mean, ang problema, ang daming mga influencers na who are riding the West Philippine Sea issue eh. And I think General Dynamics IT is really expecting it. Kasi pinupondohan nila yung hashtag atin ng West Philippine Sea. Pinupondohan nila. Kung ikaw, content creator kang tatanga-tanga, sasakyan mo talaga yun kasi pera yun for you eh. Kasi pera yun for you. Kaya ako sa totoo lang kayo, I do not really follow any content creator na walang ino-offer kundi display lang ng singit. Come on. Do not let them earn from being stupid. Kung wala silang ino-offer bukod sa singit at sa dede, come on. Kasi ito yung mga tao na ito yung mga tao na magra-ride sa mga popular hashtag without thinking because that's all they want. Views and money. That's all they want.
Tingnan mo si Atty. Piñol. Tinurn off yung comment section ng explanation niya doon sa TikToks about the West Philippine Sea.
Correct. Hanggang ngayon wala pa rin siyang reaction.
Ha?
Hanggang ngayon wala pa rin siyang reaction.
Hanggang ngayon wala pa rin. Pero she turned off the comment section. I hope.
Alam ko sure na sure ka.
Yeah, doon. Tama. Ito na lang si Trisha. Ewan ko yung si Trisha 5. Kasi
I don't think she's going to reply kasi I don't think her brain cells are capable of processing the information na mga diniscuss natin dito last time.
Right.
Ayun.
So, wow. Anyway.
Ayun. So anyway, yun lang buti na isingit ko na yan kasi gusto ko sana yung i-separate na topic kanina pero magandang idikit dun sa kwento ni Kuyang EB. Ayan. So yun lang. Ano ang tawag dito? Marcos Aquino. Bilis na. Ano nang nangyayari dyan sa Daco? Kwentuhan mo na.
Yes, Marcos Aquino. Ano na?
Grabe. Na-mention ko kanina na parang nasa episode kami ng Wow Mali kahapon. Kasi prank after prank. And then, ito na yung police colonel dito patay. Parang ang turnover ceremony niya during the morning was closed door. Hindi kami in-invite.
Really?
Hindi kami in-invite. Na-shock na kami. Bakit ganun? Bakit parang secret yung turnover ceremony? And then, 4 hours and 36 minutes later, pumalit si Colonel Sherwin Butil. Nagulat din kami, hala, may bago na naman. Pangalawa na to, and then...
So nakapag-short time pala si Patay. Lampas sa short time, 3 hours.
4 hours and 36.
Oh, so
and then,
may extra charge pala.
Tapos di niya kami in-invite sa niya, turnover ceremony. Samahan niya. Ayun.
Hindi Patay, si Patay.
Yes. Nashock din kami na, meron palang ganun. Usually, yung mga turnover ceremonies are covered. Na-shock kami. Bakit wala kang notification from DCPO?
So, pinalitan si Patay ni Butil. So, si Patay parang understandable kung bakit pinalitan na agad eh. Kasi nga, apparently, nung pinalitan siya, parang, okay, kasi ano pala, magaling pala ito ng anti-drug police. Siguro napaso yung mga pagong dun sa palasyo. Ay, wag daw! Hindi ganyan galing yung tinutukoy ko. Pinalitan siya ni Butil. Pero si Butil, bakit pinalitan? Marcos Aquino.
Hindi ko din alam eh. Nagulat din kami kanina sa office. May bago na naman. And then,
Marcos Aquino, ano ba yung background ni Colonel Butil?
Ito na lang. Taga dito siya. Taga Davao siya.
Yun nga. So tama nga yung tama nga yung sinabi.
Taga Davao siya.
Tama ka, Joey.
Akala ko meron pang, aside from that, meron pang mas malalim na ayun. Sa may Davao roots pala si Sherwin Butil.
So,
kilala nga siya ng workmate ko, madam eh.
Pagkatapos, pinalitan niya ni Hansel Marantan. Marantan has been involved in
Atimonan Rub Out. 2017.
2017,
yes. Ayun.
And may clip si Bato dyan na press con niya. Na sabi niya hindi niya tatanggapin yan nung na-reinstate yan si Marantan. Sabi niya hindi niya tatanggapin ulit yan sa PNP. Pero nag-appeal kasi yan si Marantan na ma-reinstate sa position niya. And here we are.
Lo and behold, siya ang Davao chief ngayon.
And madam, parang may malalim talaga na reason dyan kasi shinare din to ng superior ko sa akin na remember yung mga station commanders na pinalitan? It is actually in preparation of next year's elections. Kasi if you are familiar with Michael Oyanguren and Ronald Lau, sila yung mga head ng San Pedro Police Station and Santa Ana Police Station na mga malapit na police station sa City Hall. Proven na yung track record nila maasahan sila in keeping the elections clean. As in, na stable, peaceful, and walang dayaan na mangyayari. Ngayon, yung major reshuffle sa stations, sa Special Operations Group or division, and then sa city director is in the lead up to the elections next year. Kasi nga, ang ultimate plan ng administration ni Bongbong Marcos, which is led by Lisa Marcos, is to take control of Davao City. Gusto nila talagang kunin ng Davao City by all means. By all means. Because once they get Davao City, mas madali na nilang siguro i-aresto si Pastor Kibuloy or ipapasok ng ICC to arrest the PRRD and the Dutertes kasama si VP Inday and to lessen the chances of VP Inday in winning 2028 elections.
They really want to clip they really want to clip the Dutertes Kaya nga sabi ko, all Google roads lead to Duterte. They are doing all this because they do not want the Duterte kind of politics to thrive.
Yes.
Diba? They are doing all this because they do not want the Duterte kind of politics to thrive.
And eto, madam, umiingay na yung barking dog ng BBM admin dito, yung kandidato nila. And that is PBA Party List Representative Margarita Migs Nograles. Nagkakasagutan na sila ni Pulong.
Hindi ko nasabayan yung sagutan ni Migs at saka ni Pulong. Ano nga kasing nangyari doon?
Eto, kasi may poster doon sa office ni Pulong na sabi na matitigil muna yung pagbibigay nila ng assistance medical assistance sa private hospitals because hindi na sila dinadownloadan ng pondo ng DSWD. And then here comes Margarita with her statement na eto na, she's appealing to us na. Nabawin niya sabi na kahit wala tayong pondo, asahan niyo na tutulong kami sa mga Dabawenyo kahit anumang mangyari, gagawin namin yung lahat. Parang ganun yung sabi ng statement niya. Ayun na, she is pandering to us na di pala kaya ng Duterte magbigay ng tulong dito na kayo sa amin kasi kaya namin kahit hindi masyadong malaking capacity namin or kakayahan namin is tutulong kami sa inyo regardless. Ganun yung pinaproject niya sa amin.
Ang pakisa mo rin talaga ni Migs,
ang boba niya.
Talaga niya, yung sobrang epal na, kasi I'm pretty sure meron siyang access sa funds. Siyempre,
yes, kasi,
kakiskisang braso niya si Sandro tsaka yung, si Martin Romualdez. So definitely, meron silang access sa DSWD funds, diba? So kulang na lang sabihin niya na, sa akin kayo manghingi kasi ako meron akong access sa pera.
And then, madam, talaga kami, nagulat kami initially sinabi niyang fake news daw yun nakapost niya yun sa office ni Pulong tapos sabi niyang fake news. Hindi ko ba naman siya buo ba? Then, parang ganito na yung preview ng elections dito sa Davao next year. It's probably gonna be Nograles versus Duterte. But, eto madadagdag ko lang, Si Mayor Baste, meron siyang nilaunch na program just tonight. Parang siyang podcast type na program where he answers questions from the public and concerns. I think may nagbago sa decision ni Mayor Baste. I think this is a strategy para sa possible re-election bid niya next year. Kasi mahirap na mawala yung control ng Davao sa mga Duterte. We all know what's gonna happen. Nagrarampat na eh.
Sabi ni Jane, she was saying fake news yon kasi may fans naman daw. Ang problem ganito, si Pulong at saka si Mix, pareha silang kongresista. So, pag sinabi ni Mix Nograles na meron naman daw funds, so are you saying that you can speak in behalf of the office of Pulong Duterte? Diba? Magkalaga lang naman kayo eh. Basta kayo kongresista. So are you saying na yung office ni Pulong Duterte, alam mo yung mga transactions nila doon at kung nakakuha na sila ng pondo or what? Diba? You cannot do that, Migs. Hindi ka po pwedeng magsalita in behalf of an office na ka-level mo lang. Diba? Pangalawa, ikaw, Migs, hindi ka talaga mawawala ng pondo. Diba? Kung kitang-kita namin kung paano kayo maghimudan ng put sa public ni Sandro Marcos at saka ni Martin Romualdez, paano mawawala ng pondo? Para po kayo magkantutan sa harap namin pagkatapos sasabihin mo lang, ikaw, hindi ka mawawala ng pera! Nilapit mo sa kalan eh. But, alam mo, Migs, you are a lawyer. You know this thing called competence. You are incompetent to talk about the transactions of the office of Pulong. Kasi magka-level lang naman kayo ng opisina noon. Hindi mo pwedeng i-represent yung opisina niya or sabihin na, ay hindi, mali ka Pulong. Meron kayong budget. Alam mo mga ano eh. Hindi mo naman alam kung ano yung mga budget na bumababa kay Pulong eh.
Joey, ba't ko mo yung tinig ba't ko mo yung
ganyan na ganyan sa TikTok yung ano.
Diba?
So, yung mga lawyers natin na politician, hindi naman competence ang problema. Ethics. No, wala na talaga ng ethics. And I'm just surprised that the Philippine Bar is just sitting down. Looking at them, while all of this is smearing the good name of the Philippine Bar Association.
Miss Itz, I am Miss Itz. I am surprised. I am surprised with what all those lawyers did, from Regal Oliva to Elaine Bathan to Attorney Piñol to Attorney Migs and all these lawyers in government now, bastardizing constitutional rights, the law of the land, and everything else. For the furtherance of their agenda. And the IBP even released a statement. Sinir mo nga yung Joey, no? Na parang yung tongkit na nga yung labas.
IBP.
IBP. They cannot even censure their members for doing unethical things blatantly in public.
Come on, the first lady is a lawyer.
The first lady is a fucking lawyer. Holy shit, I forgot.
But sa totoo lang, she's really not a lawyer. She's a fixer. Alam mo yan, yung kunwari, gusto mong kumuha ng lisensya sa LTO, yun yung lalapitan mo, yung fixer. Kasi ayaw mo nang pumila. Yun.
Well, she's exercising undue influence. Diba? Very unethical for a lawyer, practitioner, and even for probably, as a spouse of the Philippine president, to exercise undue influence over anything. The more hands-off she is, the better it is. Kasi mas malinis. Ito, bugado pa eh. Talagang sausaw siya sa lahat, and it's obvious. And IBP is just, it's okay, she's the first lady. So, it's so frustrating to look at this, and we are, again, giving her the thumbs up to do this by keeping extra quiet. Yun. But we're not quiet on our end, no? But the powers that may be, IBP, the courts, this is still part of the judiciary, no less. And I don't know why ethics is no longer a consideration as a lawyer, because during our time, isang mali mo lang na infraction, ang hirap mag-member dyan. Bakit ngayon? Diba? Bakit ngayon?
There is daw ha, ito chismis sa kaparangan to. May pinupush daw na bagong, remember the Chief Justice now in the Supreme Court is
Duterte
appointee.
Yeah, it's Mundo, yes.
Is a Duterte appointee. And meron daw push ngayon to have him removed so that the Supreme Court Justice will be
So it's
under
Corona
the beck and call of
Corona 2.0?
Pwede rin sa Reno, Kuwaran to.
it looks like ganun. May mga ganung move daw. Ewan ko kung pro-prosper or ano. Pero may mga ganung ineme. Well, just to ano lang no, yung sinasabi ni Tita Itz na nagiging complacent na kasi yung mga ano yung mga nasa judiciary. Parang wala na rin sila masyadong pake. Nakakatakot pag nangyari pa yung chismis sa kaparangan na yun.
Sir AB, take a look at this, no? Looking at it from the outside. This government effectively already controlled the legislative side when they have si Tambaluslos.
Speaker.
And,
Yeah.
yes, the speaker on their wing. And then, Senate, we don't know. No? Parang feeling ko, nag-merge lang yung mga yan. So now we have a partnership between executive and the legislative. So if they're going to control the judiciary, so we don't have the 3 equal divisions of government anymore. Is this now gearing to an ineffective constitution? Because nag-demolish yung 3 branches of government. Although it's not spoken of, but it's obvious. In fact, it is happening. Yan ang kinakatakot ko that would happen when one day the military would say, come on, this is all bullshit now, we now have an executive controlling both supposed to be co-equal part of the government. So malapit na yan kasi nagawa na nila. I think I made a blog before. I said that they have effectively taken over the legislative branch, which would never have happened in a normal and healthy government. Kasi hindi sinasabi.
There is no balance at this point. There is no balance between the legislative and the executive anymore.
The check and balances between the two have gone.
Has gone. Now, if the judiciary will keep quiet and not do its job and alam mo yon, will just allow for example, yung hindi nagsasalita rin yung judiciary dun kay Kibuloy yung parang bakit yung ginagawa ni Abalos, for example, yung bounty na to, is it even
Well, someone has to raise a judicial review question sa courts in order for the courts to act if there were any violation of jurisdiction.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I think they well ano na yun parang they are going to I think they have plans to raise it before the courts. Pero yung Tita Itz yung ang tawag dito yung kasi yung fugitive issue, from what I've learned from Attorney Torion, meron na rin silang action about it yung tungkol yung questioning the sa bagay kasi hindi rin naman talaga nag-explain ng Supreme Court sa ganyan ever since hindi talaga sila nagsasalita well,
I remember a time there was I forgot the decade. It was too long ago. Itong Supreme Court na panahon na ito, they had a speaker who had given the point na sasabihin niya. I mean, they will give some sort of a statement. And
guidance, di ba?
Nakalimutan ko na kung sino Pero, well, it is not to the benefit of this government to do that now. So,
kaya walang nagsasalita. Kasi before may spokesperson who would, at least provide guidance on how
I forgot who pero meron nun.
Legal guidance.
Maidas, dati speaker yun
Yeah, si Maidas.
Oo.
But tama si Joey, if I may add sa sinabi ni Ma'am Itz na yun na nga kontrolado na ng ehekutibo yung legislative both the Senate and the House de facto si Escudero is talagang allied to the Marcoses, especially that now officially may uniform na nasa yellow.
Brian Rivera, ba't ka natatawa sa questioning ng warrant of arrest? Ano nakakatawa dun? Ano nakakatawa dun?
Brian,
for your information, every administrative action, pwede mong questionin. That's your right as a person. Every administrative action. Pag tinanggalan ka ng karapatan sa PhilHealth mo, you can question that. Those are all actions you can take. That is your right as a Filipino. For your information lang po.
You can even question, Brian, you can even question the verdict of a lower court judge up to question the verdict of the Court of Appeals and then eventually question that verdict sa Supreme Court. So Brian, yung katangahan mo wag mo nang dalhin dito. Nagsasayang ka lang ng oras sa mga tao dito, no? Lalo na yung mga nanonood na may mga mas mahalagang comment kaysa sa'yo. Punta ka na lang doon
Ito yung remedy na yan, motion to quash. An arrest warrant can be contested through a motion to quash filed in the same court that issued the warrant. Ba't tawang-tawa ka na pag meron questioning yung warrant of arrest? Ba't tawang-tawa ka? Meron naman talagang action to question the warrant of arrest.
Si BBM tumatawa din yan pag di niya alam ang sagot. So,
pero si BBM.
Tumatawa tapos nauutal-utal.
Hindi guys, i-highlight talaga natin katangahan ni Brian. I-highlight talaga natin. Kasi madami sila yan. I'm pretty sure, maraming silent listener dito na ganun din yung iniisip. Kasi nga lang, hindi siguro sila kasing kapal ng mukha ni Brian. Okay, natatawa ka? Ngayon, sino nakakatawa? Sino nakakatawa ngayon? Inaro, na natatawa. Questionin ang warrant of arrest. Ba't ka natatawa? Ang natatawa yung tatanga-tanga kasi hindi alam. Ngayon, imbes na tumawa, pwede kang magtanong, ate, paano ba kine-question yung warrant of arrest? Diba? Pwede ba namang unahin yun magtanong? Kaso nga lang, tanga-tanga ka, yun naman tumawa. Ano gagawin natin, Brian? Kanina ka pa pinagmumukhang tanga dito. Kanina ka pa sunog na sunog dito. Ayaw mo pa rin tumigil. O di sige, bibigay ko ang hilig mo. Bibigyan natin ang hilig mo.
Ayan, comment siya. Meron na naman siyang bago. Ano ba daw ibig sabihin ng warrant of arrest?
Ayun, din na natin i-explain sa kanya yun.
Ay, wag na. But going back, Joey, no, I'll have to tie up Ma'am It's remark kanina, no, na kontrolado na ng ehekutibo yung legislature, no, as both the Senate and the House. Tapos eventually, hindi nga nila kontrolado pero pwedeng mai-impluwensyahan nila yung Korte Suprema, which is the third pillar of our democracy. Okay? Pero ang hindi na mention ni Ma'am It's kanina is we have the fourth state, no? The fourth pillar of our democracy, which is media and mainstream media, which is apparently also controlled now by the administration. So,
ang liit na ng space for check and balances natin, Kuya.
Wala na talagang balance, Joey. This is a completely totalitarian government. Disguised as a constitutional republic. Democracy, no? So, kung titingnan mo, no? Kaya ang nangyayari nga dito, totalitarian government, pero you don't have a strongman leader. Kasi yung mga totalitarian at authoritarian government, and you have a strong, brilliant leader whose aim is to further the development and the well-being of your country, mangyayari talaga ang katulad ng Singapore, katulad ng China, di ba? Even to a certain degree, yung sa Thailand, which is also military junta style / democracy, no? Pero dito, totalitarian, authoritarian, pero very weak yung presidente. So everybody else ay parang mga pirana.
We have a nominal president.
Yes.
We have a nominal
president by name lang.
Yes, we have a nominal president, and that is why we this is different from the seniors generation. The senior is a brilliant man, at pinagtahi-tahi niya, pinagkabit-kabit niya lahat ng powers at under sa kanya yan. So alam niya, may master plan siya. This is at least for a time, he did very well until, of course, abuses came up because of the want to stay longer in power. But the junior, he is nothing like his father. He is not smart. He is not willing to work. And he is now just being a front, a name. Because we don't have a working president right now. What we have is a nominal presidency.
Ang president natin de facto is an unelected person. Pangalanan natin, it's Liza Marcos who's running.
We have so many little presidents.
I think it's a collective. It's a collective.
Yes.
And even if they are a collective, they are acting on their own whims.
Interest. May kanya-kanyang pinupush eh.
Yeah, pushing their own personal interest and agenda. That's why you see all of this happening right now. You can no longer figure out what's happening to this country with what's been going on, because there's not one person running the government. Walang cohesion. No, so everybody wants a piece of the pie. They're like piranhas munching on this big dead whale of a country, which is the Philippines. So, itong nangyayari ngayon.
And
Sabi
they
ni
want to
Don,
show that they're better than everyone else who's in the pool, right? So
Oo.
kaya kanya-kanyang ano yan, kanya-kanya silang bardagulan. So
Oo.
para kumbaga mas useful ako, mas effective ako. So I will lead the pack. Kasi yung mga presidente natin is okay lang basta pinapakain niyo ako, nagko-concert ako, basta buhay ang
Okay na
pamilya ko,
siya.
okay na ako.
Oo, okay na siya. Sabi ni Don Bider, I think our presidential system is just a cover for an extremely authoritarian state. Every president simply has unlimited power. Naglolokohan lang tayo dito. I believe that presidential system is really a very weak system. The system that we have right now, it is a weak system. However, for me to say that it is an extremely authoritarian state, hindi naman siguro sa ganung punto. It is a weak system in such a way that it wasn't really able to produce the best result for the people. Kasi nga nagiiwi yung presidential system ng mga ng mga korap at tatanga-tanga. You know, yung system na meron tayo, this system made possible na ma-elect natin yung mga tao na walang alam. So in that sense, talagang napaka-weak talaga nitong presidential system. I do not really like it. I would prefer and start discussing about other system that may be more beneficial for the people, even if not this time, maybe in the future sa next generation, sana gawin natin at pag-isipan natin. Ngayon, whether yung presidential system is a cover for an extremely authoritarian state, ang problema kasi if you have a case of Marcos na hindi naman talaga kasi strong, the government is being ruled by people na hindi naman talaga sila yung nakapwesto. Hindi naman talaga sila yung pinili. I don't think it is authoritarian, but I agree that it is a very, very vulnerable system. Kasi nga, yung situation natin ngayon, posible ito dahil sa presidential system eh. Ngayon, yung resulta ng gobyerno natin ngayon na, ayan, ang hari ng gobyerno natin ngayon, sa totoo lang, si Lisa at si Tambi and other powerful friends. Sila naman talaga na yung nagde-decide eh. And there's very, very little service that's being extended to the people. Authoritarian in a sense, hindi ko ma-reconcile doon. Hindi ko ma-reconcile yung presidential system as a cover for an extremely authoritarian state. But I think it is a way it is a way for those who cannot get power is through being in power to serve their own interest.
Proxy presidents.
Okay, parang ganun eh. Parang nagiging proxy presidency siya eh. Ganun. Sa Senado lang eh. Just
well, ako on my part, no, there's some semblance of truth if you look at the face value of Don's argument, no. But if you use the same logic as Don is using, every form of government, whether it's presidential, whether it's parliamentary, no, is bound to be an authoritarian state if and when the checks and balances of that government will collude to produce
authoritarian regime,
authoritarian state or regime, no?
Well, it will also be the same. Yes, you're correct.
Yes, no. So you can actually see that across the board, whether it's presidential, whether it's parliamentary, no.
Kasi it's not true. Even if presidential system is very weak, it is not true that the president has unlimited power. Eh.
Yes.
Even if it is very weak,
the power of the purse. Diba? Every legislation passes through the Senate. You have the judicial system that can resolve, constitutional questions, no? So, pero yun na nga, no? Pag nagkulod na silang lahat, and the only instrument na pwede mong gamitin for them to collude is yung tinatawag na nila yung gold.
Veto power ng president is the only.
So, akit ka doon. Akit ka.
Sige Don. Go ahead and articulate your argument.
I don't know how to climb.
He's driving at a point. No, it's just that all the elements of an authoritarian regime is not yet present. Tama naman kasi si Joey. There are certain things na kailangan lumilitaw dyan. Pero hindi man siya blatant, nakikita na rin natin when the military is already within. Kasi the military is supposed to be serving the people, not a personality, not a party who is in power. It's always the people and the constitution.
Don, click mo yung link. Ayan, nakaakyat na siya.
Ayan. Okay,
Nakita niya na
welcome
yung
po
hagdan.
doon.
Nakita niya na yung hagdan.
Sige,
Naririnig niyo ba
pakinggan
ako?
natin siya.
Hello?
Hello?
Ayan, naririnig ka. Patapusin lang natin
Okay.
si Tita Itz. Tita Itz, tapusin mo muna yung point mo.
No, that's what I'm saying. Kasi in order for
Okay.
authoritarian regime to be present,
Um,
nandiyan na yung ng military din.
hello? Yes.
So for now,
Teka lang.
hindi pa nagpe-play masyado ang military forces na nagiging advocate sila strongly para po ipolice ang discipline and all the other aspects relating to freedoms and rights. So kaya hindi pa talaga natin siya diretso, no? Although there are incidences here and there, napapunta na tayo doon, which is yun nga, no? Wala na yung legislative and executive are now merged with each other. There's no check and balances there. The judiciary is extremely quiet. Now you have a military who's already starting to be beholden. So this is where the authoritarian states they begin. This is the birth. But I don't think we're there yet. So tama si Joey there. Not even very close to it. Yun lang po.
Okay. Hello.
But I don't know, we are in a very, very dire situation. I'm not saying we are in a better position, no. Pero
I'm not really sure why are you against authoritarian state? Singapore is an authoritarian state.
Not with this present government. I don't think
not with this present government. Yun nga ang tawag dito ang argument kasi ni Don, andito na pala ang ating cosmological woman of the universe. Ang argument kasi ni Don, ang sabi niya, yung presidential system daw is a cover for authoritarian regime. Ang sinasabi ko is that actually in our situation, even if it is very, very weak, tama ba Don? Sabi mo, presidential system, ano yun? Is a cover for authoritarian regime.
Ang ano ko lang dito is it's a very pedestrian way of thinking. I just noticed kasi since let's say the time of PGMA, since namulat ako sa politika baga, every time there's a new president, it seems like lagi na lang she's always very, very powerful. She can move the Congress, she can move the Senate, or he or she can move the Congress, the Senate to do its bidding. And every time may opposing thing, laging kawawa because the president always has the power. Nung nag-exit si GMA, then came Pinoy. And Pinoy moved heaven and earth to persecute PGMA and then persecute CJ Corona, and we couldn't do anything about it. The president always has the say. Parang bakit wala tayong magawa? We can always just watch on the sideline baga. That's my pedestrian view. And I also get the point yung sinasabi mo na hindi naman talaga authoritarian. This is just, a quote-unquote authoritarian regime for me.
Hindi
parang
pa.
Sobrang lakas ng...
Kasi kung authoritarian si GMA nun, bakit hindi nangyari yung CTE-NBN deal, di ba? Na hindi nga niya napasunod yung mga tao to do it. Actually, there are so many things that GMA planned to do but was opposed by by other groups, by other branch of the government. So kumbaga parang hindi nga ganun, yun nga, well, perhaps yun nga yung isa sa mga problema, masyadong plural yung ating masyadong plural yung ating government Kasi yung opposition is really very strong to the extent that sometimes it really hampers our progress. Kung kunwari yung kay PRRD. Kung authoritarian talaga si PRRD, din nung hingi siya ng special powers to special powers dun for the traffic, Manila traffic. Dapat nakuha niya yun kaso hindi siya di ba? Hindi siya pinagbigyan ni Grace Poe. And it was the request for emergency powers was cut off by her. Basically siya yung pumatay doon. So ayun, so actually hindi nga tayo ganun hindi nga tayo ganun yung hindi nga ganun.
Maybe it to me, it also depends also on who is at the helm, diba? For example, when it was Pinoy's time, he was very, very aggressive. So the presidential system is just very, like what you said, is actually very weak. If someone is at the helm and he meant to be super powerful, the president system just wouldn't be that democracy thing that we actually believed in.
Mm.
So it could be used to have a government that's actually very, very authoritarian, like what's happening now. And, binoto ko si BBM thinking very, very hopeful, and then this is what happened. And I have got many, many friends na very, very pro-Marcos. And I couldn't say a thing. And iisip ko, I'm still hoping for the president, for this administration to do well. Sa totoo lang, I understand talaga lahat ng mga opinion nyo. But I'm still hoping. But right now, every hope, lahat na lang ng level ng hope ko, laging dash and dash and dash and dash. Well, I'm still hoping, but I'm not going to go up like really an assault upon the PBBM sa newsfeed ko muna. Pero talaga nakikinig lang ako sa inyo because I want to keep myself sane din. Kasi sa totoo lang, I'm going insane sa mga nangyayari. Hindi ko alam. I'm going insane. Parang, you have this BP na willing to work for you, and what are you doing? Alam mo yung parang sasabihin nila sa akin ng mga pro-BBM na, hindi alam ni BBM yung ginagawa ni Tambi. Pinsan niya yung tao. Bakit di niya alam? Alam niya yung ginagawa ng Kongreso kay Sara. So, yung sabihin sa akin na wala siyang kamalay-malay. And it's very disappointing. Yun lang naman. So, regarding dun sa sa comment ko kanina, yes, I really think the presidential system is a very authoritarian. It's not like democracy, but maybe it also depends on who's at the helm. So I actually get all your point. And yeah, it's an honor actually talking with you. First time ko to nagawa. Thank you.
Diba? Saya mo.
Ako kasi, the issue is not whether we are a democracy or not. The issue is whether we have good governance or not. Do we have good governance?
No.
Ngayon, wala. I'm only focusing sa akin.
No, so it doesn't matter whether a democracy or not. We don't have good governance. So what we must aspire for is good governance. Whether we attain it through democracy or other forms, it does not matter. So
Correct.
So what we should be aiming for is good governance. I don't care.
Regardless of regardless of kung anong
like ano bang ini-aim natin ng peg ng democracy na may good governance? Can anyone tell me here which country is our peg a democratic country with good governance? Answer.
None.
Actually, wala.
Right now nga, naiintindihan ko rin yung sinasabi ni Sas na parang sa akin lang I don't really care anymore about the politics. Kaya hindi yun na nagko-comment. Ang gusto ko lang maramdaman, sana bumaba yung presyo ng mga bilihin. Yun lang talaga. Kasi yung deodorant ko na Rexona 99 dati, 130 na ngayon, 130.
Buisit, no?
Diba?
Yan yung yan yung politikang naiintindihan ng lahat. Ang mahal na lahat! Diyos me!
Mahal na ng deodorant.
Sabi ni na isahan, nagdalhilan. Germany is a good example ng democracy we should emulate. But have you studied the history of Germany before it arrived to its present condition? What it actually did?
Bloodshed and everything.
Ang nakakaloka kasi sa mga Pilipino, no? They will look at a country and then they look at their present condition and say, we should adopt this. But they don't really study how that country arrived at that moment.
Arrived to that.
Yeah, like for example, you see that your parents are successful and you say, I want to be like my parents, but you don't want to do the hard work leading to that moment, di ba? Hindi ba? Di ba? Why do you think yung mga sa South Korea, yung Samsung, yung mga anak nila pinagsisimula nila from the bottom? At hindi pinapaalam sa mga empleyado nila na anak pala nila yan or whatever. Diba? Because they want to experience the hardship from the bottom up. So yun na nga ang inaano ko, no, na eksena ng buhay. Diyos ko, nakakaloka itong EB.
Ang alin?
Itong Kim Wong escapade. Do you remember Kim Wong?